AITA for being mad at my mom? I realize this isn't the AITA subreddit, but my post was too long for them to accept, so here goes. My mom, a loving woman, is also easily influenced into doing stuff. There was always this side to her I could never figure out, and I'm afraid that side has gotten worse over the past few months. For starters, she was left to raise 4 children on her own. She wasn't ready to have kids of her own, also adding to the fact she was left with little to no emotional or financial support from my father. She tried her best, but she never cooked or cleaned, and she expected my siblings and me to look after the house while she was out with one of her friends, or with another random man. It was rare when we'd get a full meal, while in the meantime, we'd be living off microwave dinners or sponging off my grandparents. I later realized she knew how to cook, except she chose not to out of pure laziness. I can count many times she went out and ate lavish meals while my siblings and I were home eating 2-minute noodles. I hate to say it, but I always thought certain aspects of her were too immature for her. Yeah, she loved us, and we had a roof over our heads, but compared to some of my friends' parents, I thought she could have done better. We moved houses in 2016 to a different place. For a while, when we were all still living at home, her parenting skills improved slightly, but she still didn't know how to be stern with us or anyone. She was a huge people pleaser and an attention seeker. I got older, and somehow, I grew up with no filter. If something needed to be said but no one would, I will always stand up and say something. This is where the story begins. Recently, Mom has been getting close to one of my brother's ex-girlfriends. We all found it weird, especially since my brother's ex speaks of my brother, which is not good. She is a bad influence, and I honestly don't know why a nearly 50-year-old is hanging out with a 23-year-old. As I said, my mom was always easily convinced to do things even if she didn't want to. Sometimes she told us she never wanted to go out with her friends, but she still went because she could never find herself saying no. She'd allow my brother to have out-of-towners into the house and would throw on this persona, which was so fake, but everyone, who wasn't her kids, found it hilarious. I'd just moved out, but while living at home, I noticed Mom was starting to rely on me for everything, just like she always did. It was only my younger brother and I, who were significantly younger than me. I made a routine of cleaning while Mom cooked the food. I admit her cooking improved, but that was before she started hanging out with my brother's ex. It started with her and my brother's ex going for drives around town, where I learned from my brother that they talk about their love life. My brother's ex looked up to my mom as an angel. Then, Mom started to constantly hang around my brother's ex's house, to the point her kids would call my mom aunt. I asked her why she was hanging out with someone who forced her son to be with her or she'd do something to herself. She simply stated that she was bored with being home all the time. Since I was always home and occasionally going out with mates, I can vouch that she was never home. My brother would go to my sister's house after school because he knew she'd be home. I moved out, hoping it would hit my mom that another one of her babies had finally left, but no. I have an extreme suspicion she's waiting for all of us to move out so she can be free. I got intel from my brother, who told me that my mom now has random men over. There was one. I forgot his name, but he was so nasty to her when he was drunk I don't even know why she kept him around. I then found out she would go on all-night benders while leaving my brother alone at all hours of the night. I'll admit I was home by myself a lot when I was his age, but the problem is, the neighborhood where they live is known for current break-ins and kidnappings. I'm worried for my brother's safety and especially for my mom because she talks to literal strangers. The things he's told me, it's as if she's forgotten to be a mother. My brother has found himself cooking for him and my mom, cleaning, you name it. I confronted her about this, and she argued that now we're all getting older, her parenting days are over. I told her parenting days would never be over, as we'd all need her at some point, but that she needed to be home more for my brother. He was getting bullied at school, but he never told Mom because she was never home, and he felt he couldn't tell her those things. I then said once my little brother turns 18 and moves out, she can do whatever she wants, but she needs to be there more for my brother. She called me ungrateful and told me I couldn't tell her what to do with her life. I finally snapped and said she always did this to us and expected us to take care of things for her while she was out partying and doing God knows what. Honestly, it felt that I never really got to be a kid at times. If I wasn't cleaning or trying to cook, I worried about our bills, etc. I told her this, and she laughed. She then said she didn't need to do anything anymore and that my brother was more than capable of caring for himself. I told her with that attitude she didn't deserve to be a mother. I walked off, and I haven't spoken to her since. I keep in contact with my brother, who told me she's starting to spend more time with him, taking him shopping, etc. As far as I know, she is still hanging out with my brother's ex, but I'm still mad at her. She's gotten so used to us doing things for ourselves she forgot that she was supposed to do them since she was the parent. As I said, my mother is a complicated woman from a dysfunctional upbringing, but I'll always love her. But really, AITA? Share your thoughts in the comments and follow for more interesting stories.